want to thank Governor Huckabee on your left there, the best-selling author of A Simple Christmas. You'll see it #1 with a bullet on Amazon.com in its category. Great book. I thank you, Governor, for being with me again. And Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I really thank you for sharing your personal story on the mammograms. I think you tonight shut down that whole recommendation in a heartbeat. So thank you both. Here again, ladies and gentlemen, on a very different topic, Sarah Palin.
What do you think of the Newsweek cover?
I think this is quite cheesy, and I would never have posed for Newsweek in shorts.
That was just another unnecessary thing to put, take a shot of a health and fitness profile from many months ago and put that on the cover of Newsweek magazine. It was just another little shot. But in the grand scheme of things, of course, things like that really don't amount to a hill of beans.
Sarah Palin angry when Newsweek recycled that shot of her. Originally, it ran in Runner's World magazine. She wrote, Sarah did on her Facebook page, that, quote, "The out-of-context Newsweek approach is sexist and also expected by now. If anyone can learn anything from it, it shows why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, gender, or skin or color of skin. The media will do anything to draw attention, even if out of context." But was it sexist or just plain sexy? And what do you do when you're a public woman who happens to be easy on the eyes? We're joined by a woman who knows a thing or two about being sexy in public, former prosecutor Kimberly Guilfoyle, and by the former editor-at-large of Men's Journal magazine, the author of The Manual. A True Bad Boy explains how men think, date, and mate, and what women can do to come out on top. Steve Sadegatti.
Good
pronunciation. Right? Okay, Sadegatti. Thank you. He also joins me. Thank you. So Kimberly, so what? She's a babe. Why is that wrong?
Right, but why is it relevant with respect to her qualifications? She's a main contender, potentially, for the presidential election in 2012, and what they did was purposely try to demean her by putting on a photo that wasn't appropriate. That was from a Runner's World profile. Here they're talking about someone who's known internationally, is a huge bestseller out right now, 1 million people following her on Facebook. She's someone with the qualifications and the credentials, and she should be taken seriously. Why would they put John McCain in little tight dolphin shorts?
They might put John Kennedy. I mean, I'm sure they did at that time.
On the cover of Newsweek and a serious profile piece?
What difference does it make? The rules have changed. Look at how you're dressed right now. You use whatever it takes to get on top. This is America.
I'm in a really nice cashmere dress.
You're showing cleavage, and you're smart.
Well, I'm not in runner's shorts, am I?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The rules have changed. The game has changed.
You're showing cleavage also. What are you talking about?
And I'm showing hair, exactly. And I did that on purpose. Otherwise, I wouldn't get on the show. The fact of the matter is that women have a big problem right now. And I think Sarah Palin just said that. I don't think she really meant it. She's just like, oh, that's horrible. Doesn't matter. She's getting press. The bottom line is women have to realize that they can be smart, sophisticated, intelligent, whatever the case might be, and be sexy, and use that page in Erin Brockovich's book to get what they want.
But it's a double standard.
It doesn't matter. There's a lot of double standards in life.
Women, it's not appropriate.
Who cares?
Who cares? It does matter, actually. What kind of message does that send?
At the end of the day,
she's a role model
at the end of the day, what she does when she gets in office is all that matters. And let me tell you something. The ugly people, the people that haven't used that, haven't done anything more for us anyways, so who cares?
Okay, so now it's about the ugly people. But why do you want to demean her in that way and say it's just about her looks? That has nothing to do with whether or not she's qualified to be president.
When you do this, right, what you're doing is you're pushing all women back. You're saying if you look sexy, you're stupid.
I'm not saying that at all.
You're saying it's sexist.
I'm talking about responsibility with news magazines and journalists in general.
Newsweek is a news magazine?
Completely different than
not anymore. It's not.
Yes,
Ever since they put Britney Spears and stuff like that on the cover, it's not a news magazine. It's all entertainment.
I had you up until the Newsweek isn't a magazine.
Right.
But his point, though, is if you're attractive, why not go with the flow? I mean, she doesn't flaunt it. She didn't put herself out there on the cover of Newsweek. And
that's her choice. And my point is they shouldn't treat her different than they would a credible, qualified male candidate. And they made a specific decision and a choice to do that because this was an attack piece on her. And one of the ways they were going to take her down a peg or two was saying, look, this is just about her looks. She's got a nice pair of legs.
Oh, but I remember. I remember The View just clucking over Michelle Obama's bare arms.
That's right.
And her not wearing pantyhose. I mean, it seemed that the ladies of The View had no problem.
But I think that's completely different than a serious profile piece in a major national magazine like Newsweek, which isn't exactly
Did you read the profile
Playboy.
piece? It was a piece of junk. It was
Well,
poorly written.
I didn't enjoy or appreciate or think that the content was appropriate either.
Okay.
But the cover on the front
Kimberly,
is a problem.
you stay here. Steve, good defending your bad boy status there. His book, The Manual, A True Bad Boy, explains how men think, date, and mate, and what women can do to come out on top. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
The lawyer for one of the 5 accused terrorists now facing federal trial in New York City for the 9/11 attacks said today that although his client will plead not guilty, he will not deny his role in the mass murders in September 2001, but will attempt to explain to the jury why he did it. So is that the real danger, that the defendants will make a world stage for their propaganda? Let's ask Congressman Pete Hoekstra of Michigan, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, and fellow committee member Democrat Adam Smith of Washington State. Congressman Hoekstra, you first. Is that the big danger, the propaganda value, and what do we really care what they have to say?
Oh, I think clearly that's what Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and his colleagues want to use the spectacle in New York for, to make it a stage and a propaganda message for them on a worldwide basis. I think that's a mistake. The president decided that other members of al-Qaeda, radical jihadists, that military tribunals would work for them. He really hasn't explained why he wants to put these 5 through the traditional civilian court process. I think it's a mistake. I would have tried them all in Gitmo through the military tribunal process. Don't go to New York City. Don't open those wounds one more time.
I think that ship has sailed. But Congressman Smith, you know, we have handled out-of-control defendants in court before. We've gagged them. We've removed them from the courtroom, put them in a remote courthouse. We've even bound, people trying to, to disrupt the proceedings of a court. A tough judge can usually maintain order. But what about the Congressman's bigger point, Congressman Hoekstra's bigger point? Why not? Why didn't we just take care of them all together in the military commission?
Well, we've tried terrorists in civilian court before. Zacarias Massari, one of the 9/11 conspirators, was tried there. Ramzi Youssef, terrorist from back in the bombing at the World Trade Center back in 1993, successfully. And the bottom line is, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed murdered 3,000 people. I don't think we should be afraid of trying him for those murders, finding him guilty and either executing him or putting him in prison for life. I don't think there's anything to fear from him being in this courtroom. I think it shows the strength of our Constitution, the strength of our laws, and I don't agree with everything that Attorney General Holder had to say at the hearing a couple days ago, but I do agree when he said we don't have anything to fear from anything that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed has to say. He is a murderous thug who brutally killed thousands of civilians. That is his ideology. That's what he believes. I don't have any problem standing up to that and showing the world that that's who these people are.
Me either, but Congressman Hoekstra, the lawyer said that his client was looking forward to dying, looking forward that he was seeking martyrdom through execution. Why not? We'll grant his wish. What's wrong with that?
Well, again, Geraldo, why are we going to give this guy the same rights and privileges of every American citizen?
A lethal injection will kill him just like it kills any other mass murderer.
I think that's a right or privilege that most American citizens aren't looking forward to, but...
What's that, Congressman Smith?
You know, actually, this was...
I was going to say, I mean, a right or privilege to be tried in court, found guilty, and executed. I mean, that's not much of a privilege in my
not
world.
much,
well, you know, Adam, I'd appreciate it if you
I'm sure this will continue to be debated,
Congressman. I mean, what we've got going on here, this was an act of war.
And a mass murder.